about a tank.
Oh, sure.
Alrighty, everybody. So, Pluribus Season 1, the brand new series on Apple TV, coming to us from Vince Gilligan. From, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, all 10s, right? And so it's kind of wild to me how many people seem to have kind of forgotten that he made those. As you'll see through many fan reactions online and people out here acting very surprised the show's slow-paced or even very dialogue-heavy, like this man didn't give us Ozymandias, right? And so anyways, when I first saw the teaser, the one with that little smiley face and that Apple TV logo, and then I saw Vince Gilligan attached, I was already sold. But when I saw Rhea Seehorn was the lead, I was all in. Now, if you look up the synopsis, it's kind of hilariously vague. It literally just says the most miserable person on earth must save the world from happiness. And you know what? It's actually kind of a perfect summary because that's exactly what Pluribus gives you, a straightforward apocalypse show. It's kind of this eerie, philosophical, story about what happens when happiness itself kind of becomes the contagion itself. So without spoiling too much of the opening episode, basically there's this kind of virus, like I said, the contagion, that takes over humanity and makes people blissfully happy. Like everyone's smiling, walking, helping, living their best lives, but it's all very hive-minded. They're all connected within one each other, so they're all doing jobs and stuff like that, but it's like kind of a hive mind, right? And then you have Rhea Seehorn playing Carol, who's like one of the 12 people left on Earth not affected by this happiness infection. And so when we meet Carol before all this, it's, she's kind of cynical, a burned out writer. She's made her living writing a long running book series that she now really hates. And she really hates not only her stories, but her fans and the fact that, people still kind of expect her to perform whenever she's kind of creatively dead inside and she wants to tell new things. And so when the world basically collapses into that forced happiness contagion, she then loses her wife because a lot of the hive mind, certain people die. Like it's just, that happens, right? And so she feels like she's the only one left, right? And that's kind of what makes the story so fascinating, because it's not, just about some action hero taking down an alien invasion. It's really about someone, who's numb to life, trying to protect the last traces of pain and individuality, right? And so the show does a really interesting job with that tone, because it's kind of creepy because of what's going on, but not in a traditional horror way. For example, the infected aren't violent. They're really just too nice. They're just, obey and they'll do whatever you ask. And at one point, Carol asks them to refill her grocery store so she can go shop and feel independent again. And they fill the entire thing within minutes, smiling the whole time. And it's very unsettling and kind of sad at one, because she wants to shop, right, and be independent, but also kind of funny because they do it within a matter of seconds just because she asks. Then you've got, these other characters and other survivors that are scattered around. And one of them, Manusos, who shows up later in the season, gives us this really cool shift in perspective, because whenever the show cuts to him, the tone then changes. Everything's dark, rainy, claustrophobic. He's like holed up somewhere and he doesn't know what's going on. It's just a full-on horror movie whenever it happens to him. There's even a moment where one of the happy people takes over his mom's body. Or I guess they already taken over, but they come to him as his mom's body. It's kind of terrifying because she's in the dark and it's whoa. And so, for him, his POV, it's as crazy, right? They're not just filling a grocery store, right? And then you got another guy who's filling out a fantasy I feel like most males would, right? He's on the president's plane, and he's got this James Bond thing playing out, and he's hooking up with a bunch of women and stuff upstairs. And so they do give you a lot of different perspectives of how different cultures and people are perceiving this infection. Now, this is where I really want to kind of get into what I think is not really a problem for me, but what I kind of see a lot of people talking about, and that is the pacing and calling it boring. I've seen a lot of people online, say it's too slow or nothing really happens. And I kind of just have to say, I really just think that you haven't watched Breaking Bad, or I guess I should emphasize Better Call Saul, because that show really does a lot. Vince Gilligan doesn't do that fast food storytelling. He does slow burns with meaning in every pause, every silence, every shot of a character, thinking, whatever. I don't think it's filler. It's more of a revelation, right? There's a moment in the finale where two characters are just standing under an umbrella. And I feel like that I think it's like 3 to 5 minute conversation hits harder than half of a lot of what's on TV this year. I don't think it's slow. I think it's definitely patient. And I feel like if you don't have the patience for that, that's fine, but I don't think it's a flaw. I see a lot of people, you know, they'll sit down and watch 10 hours of the Kardashians, right? And, you know, I feel like people call it TikTok brain, but I do think that's true because, like I said, they'll sit there and do that, or like Christmas night, they'll sit there and watch 3.5 hours worth of Stranger Things, which I'm going to be there too. But they'll watch that all in a row and binge that and then get on Twitter and be like, oh my God, whatever. And then get on TikTok and talk about their reactions or whatever. And they didn't realize they just sit there for 3.5 hours. Even the stuff with Marty Supreme, it's been blown up lately. And I saw people actually backtrack wanting to go see it because they saw it's 2.5 hours. I was like, dude, it's just 2.5 hours. Like, just, I don't understand. But anyways, I think Pluribus works. I think it's, you know, this is what he's trying to make, and I think it worked for me. I think the performances and direction are excellent. Rhea Seehorn is incredible. Like, truly one of the best performances of the year, I feel like. I think she carries this show with so much kind of quiet intensity. She's very sad, angry, but also very sarcastic. It's hilarious. You can tell that Vince definitely, you know, was definitely writing this for her. And I think the direction, cinematography is absolutely top tier Apple TV quality. And this is what I mean too, like the framing, sound design, everything. Something you didn't get from The Last Frontier. We saw that you just got canceled. We saw that. And so at the end of the day, I think that Pluribus is exactly what I wanted from Vince Gilligan's return. I think it's very strange, philosophical, but full of a lot of heart and pain and making you question things. Like, for example, like the guy sleeping with all these people. If they're able to turn them one day and they're not possessed, but they're back to normal, that's kind of weird. Like, it's like it makes you question a lot of things these people are doing, like people hurting the other ones, whatever. It's like, okay, is this person gonna come back one day and be like, what the hell, you know? So I think I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10 for sure. I think that's what I mean, like I said, when they're giving you the high budget, high concept, high quality shows, and this is what I think television should be. I really think it would be great if we get a season a year, but modern day television being as great as it is, probably 2 years. But that's my review on Pluribus Season 1. Let me know what you guys thought about it below. Do you vibe with the story? Slow burn? Did it lose you somewhere along the way? Did you not like a character or something like that maybe threw you off? And so with that, like, subscribe. And actually, you know what? Might be the last TV show review of the year. I don't think anything else is ending. I think Mayor of Kingstown ends next week, so I have a review out on that. But at the same time, still, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, and let me know your favorite TV show of the year. I'm kind of up there with this or Task. Task is leaning on a little bit, I don't know. But yeah, I want to know your favorite TV show. What's your favorite TV show you watched this year? And yeah, catch you guys on the next one.
Figure it out. Why?
So you can join us.
What?